everyone, and welcome back to the Cinderella Phenomenon. So, there's been an uprising of witches in the palace. Mythros has taken over, and we just learned how to kill someone by stabbing him in the neck. So, we returned to the Marchen. The Marchen was quiet when we returned. Everyone had already disappeared into their rooms, so I went straight to mine. I also forced Chevalier to go back to his. He has been on his feet all day, and he needs the rest. I plopped down onto my bed as soon as we returned home. I glanced briefly to the side where Chevalier's bouquet is in the vase Parfait had given to me. Who is it?
Parfait.
Come in.
You've returned.
Parfait looks paler than normal. I realized with a start that Chevalier did not tend to her at all today.
Oh, don't look at me like that. I'm fine. How are the soldiers at the clinic?
Not good. Many of them have been gravely wounded. Some said that they remembered magic. Others say they do not remember anything at all. A shadow falls over Parfait's expression as she sighs.
So the circumstances are more dire than we thought. It is a good thing Chevalier is there to lend a helping hand.
Did you all manage to come up with a plan?
It's proving more difficult than we anticipated. Delora and I are willing to put ourselves in danger. Waltz is too, because he can use magic to a certain extent. The knights in Karma have their blades. But Chevalier...
I do not want to involve him in this.
Because you're worried about him.
Of course I am.
You've grown, Princess. You remind me of a younger Hildur.
Oh, bye. Really? My mother?
Back then, Hildur was both calm and resilient. One moment she could be smiling ear to ear. The next she could be strict and unmovable as the coldest ice. The two of us were like sisters. We did so much together. We learned together, explored the kingdom together. I can say with all certainty that we were the best of friends. And then the fairy tales happened. When Hildur killed the first human, she was corrupted. Her darkness swallowed her whole.
I do not remember a time before Mother was corrupted, and so I cannot imagine the woman Parfait describes.
I know the old Hildur would have wanted to show you the beauty in things, Princess. She would not want you to suffer. I'm sorry you became so embroiled in things.
It was inevitable. If Delora hadn't cursed me, then I would still be in the palace, and I would be just as helpless as everyone else. So while I am out here, I have the responsibility to help everyone. I touched the incomplete glass slipper at my neck. I still haven't even done 3 good deeds.
Don't look so sad. You will complete your 3 good deeds and things will go back to normal. And of course, you still have friends here for when you return. And come your 18th birthday, Delora and I will teach you about magic. Waltz is eager to help too. But for now, our top priority is a plan. Rest easy, Princess. Things will work out.
It's hard to believe that this problem could be so easily solved, but I will try to believe. When Parfait leaves, I am left to my own thoughts. I hope everyone at the palace is okay, and that they can hold on until we come up with our plan. But I feel like we are already running out of time. Da-dum-dum! Dramatic scene transition. Days go by, and I find myself assisting Chevalier at times. Other times I remain at the Marchen to help conceptualize a plan. None of our plans have actually shown any promise yet, but with all of our minds put together, we should be able to come up with something. A week later, I find myself standing outside the clinic door, waiting for Chevalier.
I'm sorry to have kept you waiting, Princess.
You can drop the title, you know.
Lucette.
But you are a princess in my eyes! Yes, but you do not need to address me by title. Just my name is fine.
Chevalier reaches out to take my hand, then immediately pulls his hand back, eyes wide. Ah, I forgot it.
Forgot what?
The medicine that I needed for Parfait.
Give me a moment, Lucette. Chevalier plants a quick kiss on my 17-year-old forehead before running inside. He's 24. I stare at the stars as I wait. I turn, but see no one walking around the plaza. I inch closer to the door of the clinic as I take another look around. Boo. I suddenly see the silhouette of a man. Scaramouche, Scaramouche, will you do the fandango? Thunderbolts and lightning, very, very frightening. He takes a few more steps toward me and then stops in front of me. Hey, Fritz, how you doing, my boy? I recognize him immediately. His appearance left quite an impression on me the last time. Out at night by yourself? Certainly you know that wolves prowl these streets at night. What do you want? I take a step back and press myself to the door. I reach for the door handle, but the man reaches out a hand to grab my wrist, holding it to the door. I'd say my answer to that question is complicated, Princess. You know who I am! Oh no! By the expression on your face, I must have hit the nail right on the head, eh? You are the princess. How do you know who I am? That is part of the mystery, isn't it? I attempt to wrestle my wrist out of his fingers. Come with me quietly, and you won't get hurt. Rumple, help! Wait, no, Chevalier! Monsieur Chevalier! Come on! I refuse to go anywhere with him. I open my mouth to scream, but before I can even breathe, the man's hand flies to my mouth. Bite it! You're a disobedient one, aren't you? I struggle against his grasp. It does not take long for the grin to fall from his face. It is replaced with a look that lacks any amusement. I enjoy seeing you struggle, but I'm afraid we've been out here for too long. I bang my shoulder against the door, and a resounding creak follows my attempt. No more Mr. Nice Guy. The man opens a small vial right in front of my face. It's smelling salts. I've been drunk this entire time. Something sweet wafts in the air. Does this smell like chloroform to you? And I suddenly feel myself falling into darkness as I collapse. Oh my gosh. Where am I? There's so many dolls. Oh, it's the Valley of the Dolls. I glance around me. My room. I look around cautiously, checking to see if anything in my room is different. The last time I was here, before I was cursed, how is it that this room is the same? The Sleeping Beauty has awoken. I move to stand up before realizing that my legs are numb. A shame to see you so easily tamed, Princess. And here I thought you would be fun. I glance up to look at the man, who is now standing right at my bedside. How do you know who I am? Are you a witch? A witch? Me? Ha! He bursts into laughter. I would rip the witches to shreds if I could. If he could, then you are cursed? The man simply smirks at me but says nothing in response. He brushes the words aside with a gesture of his hand. Are you working for Mythros? Probably. I glare at his vague answer. What the fuck? My name is Varg. And I have been assigned to be your personal knight. I already have a personal knight. Oh, you mean Fritz? I got rid of him. What I mean by that is, I am him. You. No playing with the Queen's daughter, Varg. Oh, there he is. Mythros enters the room. Now he stands in the doorway, eyeing the both of us with a smile that is so oddly reminiscent of his usual one that it makes me sick. Mythros. Princess, you look more and more like your mother every day. Why, the scowl on your face is almost a perfect reflection. He moves to stand in front of me. At the same time, Varg begins to take slow and careful footsteps to the edge of my room. Get out of here. What have you done with everyone? Inconsequential or consequential? What? Mythros clicks his tongue impatiently. Inconsequential or consequential people? I narrow my eyes at him. I have no idea who he defines as inconsequential or consequential. Where are the king and the rest of the family? Where's Fritz? Were you the one who killed Sir Alcaster? Ah, inconsequential and consequential then. To start, your knight is gone, princess. I've replaced him with Varg here. Ah, you did curse him. And Alcaster, well, we had a common cause at first. We both wanted the crown. Sir Alcaster was also betraying the king? Egads! But Alcaster was a brute. He wanted to needlessly kill the royal family and steal the crown for himself. At first I had thought he was calm and calculating, but no. But it turns out that he was just a power-hungry fool. Though I did want to take the crown, I wanted to avoid the bloodshed of certain important people. Mythros smiles at me. It is a look that makes my blood run cold. So I disposed of him and the rest of his knights. Oh, but don't worry, princess. I assure you that your family is resting in their rooms, just like you are resting in yours. What? Do not worry. You will see them shortly for dinner. I have my doubts about Mythros' story, but if what he said was true, then Sir Alcaster wanted to kill the royal family and Mythros saved them. But then he decimated the knights and took the royal family hostage? Why would he do such a thing? They're prisoners, then. Prisoners in their own home? Nonsense. We're all just awaiting the Queen's return together. The Queen? Slowly, I feel pieces beginning to fit together. The Queen. He cannot be talking about Ophelia. Delora. Do you think the witches are capable of bringing back the dead? Oh no! Mother is dead. Is she really? Oh no! You can bring Mother back from the dead? We can, princess. We? The Queen has been resting for a long time, waiting for you to gain your powers so that you can help her escape her prison. You're not making any sense. I struggle to keep my words from faltering. How is Mother alive? And what does he mean by a prison? The Tenenbaum is the Queen's prison. It is linked to the Queen's power. Though others presumed she was dead, the Queen sealed the last of her powers inside the crystal. All she requires is your power, princess. My power. When you become the next bearer, you will have the ability to release the Queen from her prison. My birthday is in a week. That is when I am meant to take on the responsibilities of becoming the bearer, though Parfait and Delora never went into more detail beyond that. You'll finally get to see your mother again, princess. I still cannot take in everything he has just said. However, if Mythros had approached me before the curse, I would have helped Mother in a heartbeat. But it was Mother who was the last Tenenbaum bearer, and the one who brought darkness to Angielle. I once believed that Mother was the only person to ever love me. Now I know I was wrong. That she shut me in from a world that I should have known. But still, even now, I wish she was here. I take a deep breath. But I cannot afford to be selfish. I cannot put anyone else in danger. I will not help you. You don't have a choice, princess. I have set the stage for my queen's return. All that's left is to free her from her cage. We will speak more of this at the dining table. Mythros leaves the room, leaving me briefly with Varg. Varg smiles at me beneath his mask, then brings his index finger to the temple of his head and loops it. He mouths the word, You said you would tear witches apart, so why do you serve Mythros? A good question. You're not going to answer me. That's a question to be answered in Fritz's route. How perceptive of you, princess. He smirks at me before following Mythros out the door. I am once again left by myself in the room. Everything Mythros just told me swirls through my mind. My mother, alive. And he killed everyone only to take the crown and keep it for her. A shudder runs through my body. She cannot return. I spend the next hour looking around my room for things that might aid my escape. I know where everyone else's rooms are too, but I have no idea how heavily guarded they are, and I doubt I could help them. I must return to the Marchen. I test the window, but it is locked, probably with magic. I search my shelves. The dolls that used to comfort me can do nothing for me now. Last, I check my drawers, but though there are many things in them, there is nothing that looks like it can help me escape. As I am searching, I come across a box and pause to pick it up. I remember this. It was given to me by Mother with strict instructions not to open it and always keep the key hidden. I search the drawer again for the key. The moment I begin to set the box down, I see a small golden key at the bottom of the drawer. I pick it up and am about to open the box when I stop. This is hardly a priority right now. Open the box! No! Open it! I set the key down next to the box. Open the box! I should be searching for a way to escape. Open the box! I turn to see Varg's smiling face at the door. You look like a criminal who's just been caught doing something naughty, says the criminal himself. Maybe we're meant for each other. I narrow my eyes as he approaches. Behind his back, I can make out the open door. Don't even think about it. You don't want me to pounce you in the hallways, do you? That would be unpleasant. Varg grabs my wrist. I attempt to struggle free, but he holds tight to me. I will be your escort to dinner tonight. I keep my head held high as Varg escorts me from the room. On the way to the dining hall, I glimpse the rest of the palace. It is mostly empty, save for a few soldiers. The soldiers that do stand there have a glazed look in their eyes, and they look right through me. Puppets. A spell cast by Mythros? Varg does not answer me as he pulls me through the hallway. Yep. Soon I find myself in the dining hall. The guards usually standing by the walls are gone. Now there is only the royal family, and they seem to be unharmed. You? I can see recognition in the king's eyes. My heart flutters as he stands, or tries to. He manages to rise, but only just barely. I notice that his feet stay firmly planted where they are. Everyone's bodies look exceptionally stiff. Is this some kind of spell? You were the girl that was outside of my palace months ago. I forgot what voice I gave him. I honestly forgot. Mythros, what is the meaning of this? Something like that. I notice that the king is not at the head of the table as usual. Everyone sits on the table's sides, except for Mythros, who is at the far end. The king's seat, however, is clear. I simply brought back the crown princess. You should be thanking me, Gennaro. I have reunited you with your daughter. My daughter? The king raises an eyebrow, clearly skeptical. I can see in his eyes that he is loath to trust anything Mythros has to say. The king slumps in his chair as Varg leads me to a seat just beside Rod. I notice Emmeline sitting just to Rod's side. She forces a smile onto her face, but I can see tears gathering in her eyes. Allow me to offer a more formal introduction for our guest, even though you all know her. Her name is Lucette Breton, and she is the crown princess of Angielle. And your blood daughter, Gennaro. The king looks at me again. This time there's more uncertainty in his gaze. Prince Rod will tell you, won't he? Rod? Rod looks at me, his gaze quiet but expectant. I turn to the king and to the rest of my step family. It is nice to meet you. Let's not give him anything he wants. There is no point in trying to convince the king of my birthright here and now. I would only confuse him more, and now is not the time or place. I glance at Mythros, who is smiling at me expectantly. Besides, Mythros must have a reason for insisting on my birthright right now. Most likely, he just means to confuse the king more. If that is the case, I will not play into such a petty scheme. My name is Lucette. Thank you for your kindness that one time. Rod looks shocked. I scowl at him before turning to look at Mythros. Mythros' smile has twisted into a frown. I feel proud in seeing him caught off guard. Lucette, what are you doing here? Gennaro, she is undoubtedly your daughter. That is why she is in the room that you have been taking care of. What? The king's eyes widen. He looks at a loss for words. Princess, the king has been keeping your room clean and tidy for the sake of nostalgia, and he has no idea why. Magic works in interesting ways, doesn't it? I was wondering why my room was unchanged, but could it be that the king remembers me somehow? I look up at him, but he has already glanced away from me, his expression a complicated twist of confusion and helplessness. It seems that even the king does not fully understand. I turn to Mythros. It can work in both good and bad ways. Ah, yes, the Fairytale Curse is terrible, isn't it? Just terrible! I catch Varg's eyes from the side of the room. He glances away from me, and I follow his gaze to the corners of the room. I hadn't noticed them before, but now I see cloaked figures hiding in the shadows. Witches. They must be the ones holding everyone in place if they try to escape. But not all magic is terrible, like the magic we will use to revive the queen. You are insane! Hildur is mad! You have no right to refer to her by name. A sudden chill envelops the room. I can feel actual icicles on the table. I pull my hands away. Now, we are going to eat dinner, and we are going to enjoy it. And every day will be just like this until the queen returns. Rod glares across the table at Mythros. Why? Why would we not enjoy dinners together? That's not what I meant. Why go through this charade day after day? I stare across the table at Mythros, glaring. I already told you before. I had to clear this place of traitors. Alcaster planned on stealing the crown, and I stole it back. But because the time of the queen's revival is so close, I have decided to keep the crown with me until I can return it to its appropriate owner. Queen Hildur is the true owner of the crown. I thought it best that we all wait out her arrival together. But know this, when my queen demands it, I will kill all of you. I simply refuse to act without her orders. This time, guards come into the room with food. They set it before us, and we are forced to eat beneath Mythros' watchful gaze. Though I try to spot an opening in the dining hall, I can find no way out. This really is a prison. Alright. And we will return to prison in the next episode. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye!